Hey fifth graders, welcome to the ReTeach page. Here you're going to find more information that will help you better understand interpreting line plots. Take a look on the page at a line plot and some data that I have. You're going to see that this is the data that is then created into a line plot. And we're not going to get into creating the line plot. That's going to be for another day. But right now, I just want to show you that that's the data and then it's moved into a line plot. Let's take a look at the question. Question says, use the table to find how many students spent exactly 5 hours on homework last week. Use the line plot to find the number of dots above 5. So you can see that this line plot, I know that it's all about time spent on homework. And I know that because of the title. And I know that time spent, that time is measured in hours because of the label underneath. It says number of hours. So the question is asking us, find how many students spent exactly 5 hours on the homework last week. And this question is prompting you and helping you to figure out how to do that because the next sentence says, use the line plot to find the number of dots above 5. So it's saying to you, in order to figure out how many students spent exactly 5 hours on their homework, you have to count the dots above 5. So if I go over to 5 right here, I can count the number of dots above. There's 1, 2, 3 dots above the 5. So that means there's 5 dots. So that means that exactly 3 students spent 5 hours on their homework last night. So that means this gets a 3. Okay, here we are. Same line plot, different question. Let's take a look at the question. It says count the dots above 4 1/2, 4 3/4, and 5 to find the number of students that spent 5 or fewer hours on homework last week. So first of all, let's unpack the question. The question is telling you, count the dots above 4 1/2. So here's 4 1/2. 4 3/4, 4 3/4, and 5. To find the number of students that spent 5 or fewer hours on their homework last night. So the question is really showing you and telling you, okay, in order to find the number of students that spent 5 or fewer hours on homework, you have to count those dots. That's what those dots represent. So let's go ahead and let's count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that 8 students spent 5 or fewer hours on their homework last week. So I would put that right here. And then it says use the line plot to find the number of students that spent more than 5 hours on their homework last week. So let's think about how we would do that. If we counted the dots above 4 1/2, 4 3/4, and 5 to find the number of students that spent 5 or fewer hours on their homework, 5 or fewer hours on their homework last week, then what are we going to do if we want to know the number of students that spent more than 5 hours on their homework last week? Right, I'm going to count the dots above the numbers 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 3/4, 6, 6 1/4, 6 1/2, 6 3/4, and 7. So I'm going to count the dots above all of them. So go ahead and count along with me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means that 7 students spent more than 5 hours on their homework last week.